There are a lot of unexplainable things that happen in our world, and people come up with a lot of theories as to why things are the way they are.
From the Mandela Effect to the Goldilocks zone, all the way to simply just the fact that we have no evidence to prove otherwise, on today's top 10 list we will be covering some dark theories that prove that reality is a simulation.
Before we dive into the video, you guys, I just want to remind you that wonderful Bree is here with me today for a very good reason. Bree has her own channel called Viper Girl that you guys do not want to miss out on. If you love gaming and having a good time, you definitely want to head over to Viper Girl right after you're finished this video to check it all out and subscribe. Let's get into this list. Starting off this list, in our number 10 spot, we have the Mandela Effect. The Mandela Effect began being widely recognized when people began to swear that they could remember Nelson Mandela passing away in the 1980s. This is of course weird since he actually passed away in 2013. This is obviously a huge time discrepancy, so people were very confused. This is of course how it got the name the Mandela Effect, and it basically is the theory that whoever is responsible for this simulation we live in has gone back and changed some things. There is an alternate belief that the Mandela Effect shows that there are multiple universes or alternate realities, and this is just a result of us crossing from one to another. Other really famous cases of the Mandela Effect are the Berenstein Bears, where some people swear it used to be spelled with the ending being S-T-E-I-N, while all copies are now spelled S-T-A-I-N. Or the popular peanut butter brand called Jif, there are people who swear it used to be called Jiffy. This one, however, is my personal favorite. There are people who remember there being a movie called Shazam where Sinbad played a genie. A lot of people speculate, though, that they are just getting it mixed up with a movie where Shaq played a genie called Kazam. I definitely remember the Berenstein Bears one and the Shazam one, so I just might be a believer that this all really is a simulation.
At number 9, aliens. Over the years, we've spent billions of dollars trying to get to outer space and trying to find signs of extraterrestrial life or any past lives on other planets. Despite all of our best efforts, we haven't been able to find any aliens. This theory goes that the reason we haven't been able to find aliens is either because they're the ones running the simulation in the first place, or it's possible that if they are part of the simulation, they may be more advanced than us and have possibly found a way to escape. It's also possible that maybe the computer just doesn't have enough RAM to simulate another planet's civilization. This is all to say that maybe if we were able to find aliens, then we'd finally get the answers that we're looking for.
In our number 8 spot today, we have a computer virus in a DNA strand. Before I dive into this one, guys, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you're enjoying the video so far, because it really helps us out. In 2017, a group of researchers from different scientific backgrounds at the University of Washington proved that they were able to put computer code into DNA strands. My brain is honestly unable to even comprehend this, but apparently it's true. The whole goal of the research was to be able to prove that computers that work in gene sequencing were very vulnerable to cyber attack. It seems as though they may have proved a little bit more than what they intended. I'm truthfully not very familiar with DNA strands or computer viruses, so I don't really know what this means, other than the fact that it's entirely possible what we perceive as our biological makeup may really just be some computer code after all. If this is the case, I'm really upset that whoever is controlling our simulation didn't just make us at least a little bit more resilient.
At number 7, experimentation. You know how it seems like the world is always on the brink of absolute chaos? Environmentally, we are always just one wrong move from ending humanity as we know it. Certainly a bit stressful for us, but maybe this is on purpose. It is possible that we may have been created as a simulation in order to help whoever created us figure out their own climate and environmental problems. It would be crazy because if they can make a simulation that feels this real, then surely they can figure out their own problems too, but that might not be necessarily true. If we really are in a simulation, they may have created us to be better at that sort of thing than they are. It is possible that if we solve enough of their problems, then they might just come back to Earth or whatever planet we end up on in order to reap the benefits from our hardworking scientists.
In our number 6 spot today, we have no evidence. This one is actually a little frustrating, to be honest, because it should be so simple. This is just the theory that it is most likely we are living in a simulation due to the fact that we absolutely cannot prove that we aren't. As much as a lot of us would like to believe that we aren't, or maybe it comes down to the fact that we can't let go of our egos enough in order to be able to believe, anything we think or any evidence we think we have would have all been simulated. If we do in fact live in a simulation, it is possible that whoever created it would prefer that we didn't come to the realization that our reality isn't ours at all. I'm not gonna lie, this whole theory is actually kind of frightening because it is most likely that we won't actually ever know the truth.
At number 5, it's all a joke. Sometimes things just happen in our world that are just weird. Who could have predicted that Donald Trump would become president? Or the time that the Patriots were down 28-3 in the Super Bowl and came back to win the whole game? Or that weird Oscars envelope mix-up that was just really awkward. Anyway, this is all to say that weird things happen in our world all the time. Some things that no one quite saw coming and quite honestly seem kind of strange. This theory goes that whoever made our simulation may just want to have a little bit of fun. Or maybe our simulation is malfunctioning and they're trying to get us back on track. Either way, this could be an explanation for those weird things that just seem to happen.
In our number 4 spot today, we have the Goldilocks zone. You know how we are located in such a great spot in our solar system? Just far enough from the sun that we don't absolutely burn up, but close enough that the sun helps sustain our life. This is what is commonly referred to as the Goldilocks zone, since it is just right. This lends well into the idea that we live in a simulation because of the fact that whoever created us most likely wants us to be able to survive, so of course they would place us in the most ideal location for life. I would definitely like to ask them why they made the sun so harmful as well, because that seems like an oversight, but I am willing to look past it for now, considering there isn't anything I can do to change that.
At number 3, math is a lie. You know how we have rules, like the laws of physics, or just the scientific and mathematical rules that our world just seems to follow that we had to figure out? Well, some people believe that those laws are proof of us living in a simulation. If we lived in a video game, at some point we would also discover that there are rigid rules that cannot be broken no matter how hard you tried, almost like it is mathematical or scientific. So something like the speed of light, which is the fastest rate a particle can travel in our world, might just be the time it takes to transmit information in our simulation. All of the rules we think we've figured out might just be more proof that we do indeed live in a simulation.
In our number 2 spot today, we have our own simulations. This one has to do with what we are doing that could possibly prove the existence of a simulation. As humans, we are getting better and better at creating our own simulations. In 2014, the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics connected 8,000 computers to create a 350 million light-year simulation of our universe and digitally aged it over 13 billion years. Or, for a more simple example, let's take The Sims. This franchise sold over 125 million copies in its first decade, so it shows that we are absolutely interested in creating our own simulations. If we are this interested in it, why would we assume that whatever other forms of life exist out there aren't also as interested as we are? This one might make you think next time before you decide to delete the ladder to get out of the swimming pool in your Sims world.
And finally, at number 1, we are the simulation. This one is pretty simple, but also might be a little confusing. We all live in our own reality and no two are the same. Whatever we perceive in the world is slightly simulated by our own brains. What I mean by this is that we use our past and our memory to process information that we are currently receiving, whether we do it consciously or not. Who is to say that anything we see looks the same to anyone else, or anything we taste tastes the same to anyone else? We all live in our own little world, and that in itself might be proof that we are in a simulation. There is no true reality that we share 100%. It is all based on the individual.
Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thank you so much for checking it out. I've been your host, Olivia Kozlowski. Brie is gonna say whatever she wants. Do not forget to head over and check out Viper Girl, and we will see you next time. Bye!
And I've been your other host, Brie Room. Don't forget to drink some water today, and thank you so much for having me.
Anything we think or any evidence we have, anything we think or any evidence we have would... Oh, I get it. Sorry.